Good morning, everybody. I'm Elise says Another Truth here on YouTube. I hope you're doing well and you're taking great care of yourselves. Um, I'm just going to talk about some random things, some stuff going on YouTube. I really don't have any reactions. I shouldn't say that. I have some reactions to what I have watched from Renell Smith's multi-part series, is Without a Crystal Ball Causing the Chaos. So I do have some things, but without watching everything, I won't have a better opinion until then. There were some things in there I was really sad to learn, really angered me, and some things I was surprised to learn in those. One of Renell Smith's very important points is always to do your own due diligence in terms of researching things to, come to our own conclusions, in her words. And that is so evident in this that, I looked at some of the things, and a couple of things I didn't do my own diligence in, and I'll talk about that later. So you're probably wondering why I have Falkor, the luckdragon. I just love this character and the never-ending story. Plus, I liked the snail and the snail racer. I don't know why. I just like them. They were all so cute in that movie, the never-ending story. So I've been following Tammy Stronach. I believe that's how I pronounce her last name, on Instagram. And she made a movie 40 years after this one. She was still very much involved in the arts, but being in Hollywood was from what I understand, was a rough time for her. Yes, all the stardom and attention, but there were these older men sending her things, proposing to her. I mean, the child was what, a tween in this movie? And although she played a very wise empress, but it was a child. They call it the childlike empress, right? But she still was a child. The actress was a child. The empress was a child. And it just goes to show you, like, getting people going over your house, being all weird about you, and especially stalking a child. I mean, that's so freaky. And so she talked a lot about those experiences, and I think that's why her mother withdrew her from this type of life, which was a very responsible thing to do, because that level of exposure to the world, when I say that, I mean, her child is out there. I mean, her child had one of the most famous parts in movie history at that time. And so people can't discern the fact between that she was playing this character and the fact that she was just a kid, probably still climbing trees and playing with dolls, and you know uh, dancing in her backyard or having barbecues with the family. I don't know. I mean, it's so messed up. So I mean, a lot of these child actors have suffered terribly. We all know that, and she was certainly victimized by people with these insane parasocial relationships with a child. In any case, I don't know what this brings back for her at this point, but a lot of people wanted to see her again in film, so she did another film 40 years after this movie came out. And so she's back in the public eye in many respects, but now she's a middle-aged woman, still performing, still doing art, still doing what she loves, raising a child. And it was really so nice how she engaged with the audience, her audience and fans in such a rich and wonderful way. And so, in any event, the Neverending Story is being re released. The first one that came out in 1984. I remember seeing this movie. I saw this movie twice. In fact, we saw it twice in a row. And it was one of the most traumatizing movies. Well, there were traumatizing parts to it. But there was, I would say, a victory at the end over that, and not to let imagination suffer under bullying, under being pressured to grow up too quickly. So many values in the movie. Now the book is a little different, and some of the characters, like especially the horse, I can't remember the horse's name. Artax, right? Well, he suffered a terrible fate, but in the book he talks about giving up. But I think what's sadder in the movie is that um, that horse had no say in the matter, and I think that was really poignant. But man, I sobbed for weeks after that. A lot of us were traumatized from seeing this horse essentially give up and pass away. And you think about our animals, our pets, the things we love, and what we give up for ourselves, that it really hits home um, for us. So, anyway, I'm going to see that re-release next weekend from the perspective of a 51-year-old woman, and see how I see it. Now, I could have rented it at home, had popcorn and snacks, but I want the effect of the big screen again, because this movie's beautiful on the bigger screen, the silver screen or the theater screen. So I'm really excited to do that. And I think before I go on there, I'm going to give myself a little TLC ahead of time and participate in the swan boats and probably have lunch somewhere, and then go to the movie. So yeah, I think that's going to be my fun excursion for the day on that day. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. As far as the internet stuff is concerned, I think geez, I mean, how do I go from this precious thing to this evil thing? So, yeah, I mean, I watched Renell Smith's two parts. I don't know if the third part's come out yet. I haven't received any notifications yet. I'll go back. But one of the things I didn't do my due diligence in, and Renell Smith is really good about that. That's her thing. This is what makes her a credible reporter, in my opinion, is that do your own due diligence, do your own research. Now, sometimes people don't know how to research, and there is a way to do research in an academic sense and how to compare that. But what I didn't do is I didn't read that lawsuit information very clearly. I missed points in that. I don't know what I did, if I just half-assed it like I sometimes do. But I was repeating the same misinformation. It was $4 million. Now, to me, $4 million lawsuit against someone who doesn't have a pot to piss in my opinion, is a large sum of money. It's a large consequence, but it's more than that. It's 10 times, 10 times more than that. or nearly 10 times more than that. Now, I think that's an obscene amount, and I don't think that the judge is ever going to award that amount. And I know that Robert Chin is a shady, weird character. And no, not because of his race, not because of where he comes from, his ethnicity, nothing like that. It has more to do with his character, and I question his character. But I will not go in step by step why I think that way. And so, even if Katie Joy did report on things that were accurate, if she were a real journalist and reporter, yes, she would be facing some things, but she certainly ruined this for herself. And I think that this lawsuit, there will be a judgment against her. I think that some of the things I read, it looks like that. So I don't want like Katie Joy to be sued for bullshit, because you're dealing with two assholes, all right, at the same time, but specifically Robert Chen and Katie Joy. But Katie Joy uh, thinks that she is immune from any consequences of her actions, and I think that is the main issue that I have with her, and the destruction that she has caused other people's lives. And yes, just because Robert Chin is an asshole doesn't mean that he deserves to be defamed. Nobody does, in a catastrophic manner. But again, that's going to be up for the judge to decide that. I'm just a lay person with my own perspectives. But Katie Joy has done a hell of a job of trying to defame people with some of the worst accusations, false accusations you can do with anybody. I don't know if that necessarily will have a play in the outcome of her this present lawsuit, but all that stuff, this anti-Shin movement of hers, it doesn't bode well for her. The Netflix series didn't bail her out, didn't give her what she needed. She pretended to be a reporter against cults when she did indeed try to do this to cover her ass. I mean, Renelle Smith made that very clear in her video. We all understand that to be the case, well, as it would appear, that she really thought that by doing this, it would prove that she is a legitimate reporter. What she was doing was okay, but there are people above that. She just thinks she's this unassailable character in this story where nothing should and could happen to her, and she can employ whatever tactics she wants to destroy her critics and to destroy people because she is jealous of them, she hates them, she wants what they have, she tries to steal what they have. She has stolen people's intellectual property, she has stolen people's life experiences to profit from that. Look at all the victimhood complex that she pulls on people and all the stuff. Well, I had this happen to me. I was a victim of identity theft. I had pizzas sent to me. My child and I have been getting death threats. Well, you know what? It's interesting how that comes out after people's identities were, people were getting credit cards taken out in their names. Pizzas with threats were sent to their emails, to their homes or wherever. And that was one shocking thing that I learned from Renelle Smith's video. But, why should it shock me? Why should it shock me that KJ would be behind this, in my opinion? Okay? Or whoever it is that's working for KJ. And of course, all the death threats that Renelle Smith has received, Suzanne Tickmeyer's received, Steve McRae's received threats. Nikki Supernatural Crime Nikki has been receiving death threats without down the rabbit hole at bedtime has been embroiled in Katie Joy's mess, or whoever it is working for her, working around or within Katie Joy's circus. I don't know all the details. I don't. I'm not privy to that information. I'm not connected to that. So I don't know. And possibly for legal reasons, I can't know more than that. Right? I don't think I'd want to know. I think I'd be too, horrified. But I can only imagine the gravity of what these false accusations, these fake setups, interfering in people's legal processes. This has a deleterious effect on how people live their lives. It becomes to the point where people are too afraid to go out. Katie Joy's like, well, I'm too afraid to go out, or this and that. No, she has created that environment for others, in my opinion, or whoever else is working for her, she's connected to, have created an environment where people can't express themselves. People can't go to the market without being worried about things, can't step outside of their house. People driving by people's houses, making threats. I've seen this, not seen this personally, but on YouTube, there's another part of YouTube that I participate in. I would consider it under the umbrella of the tea community, but it's more about the anti-MLMs and the corrupt family channels. I'm not saying all family channels are corrupt, but the corrupt ones. And people there are receiving death threats. People are being described how they'll be unalived. People driving around their house, harassing people, threatening their children. It makes me wonder if these things are connected somehow, but I don't know. But I'm seeing sort of like very similar gang stalking level of behavior that I'm seeing here in the KJ crap show. So it's awful, and I haven't received any threats myself. Now, I that other community I just talked about, I did receive some messages, not threatening, but pretty much telling me how I should conduct what I say, when all I didn't even do any content about this situation. I won't even touch it with a 10-foot pole, other than to talk about my experience of just being a supporter of people whose families are being threatened. Okay, and I guess in that way they're talking about it. I was instructed on how I should talk, and I'm like, didn't even acknowledge them, didn't even acknowledge, just blocked. Another person tried to tag me in something. These are very dangerous people. And I was advised, again, to take this seriously. Two separate people from two different parts of the tea community just wanted me to take it seriously. It's something that it's really affecting them. And I do take it seriously. I know what I need to do. I know what I have in place. But the seriousness is very serious. And I don't treat any of this like entertainment, or I think it's funny. Yeah, I'll throw a joke in there and a remark in there, but I understand the seriousness of these situations. So, and it's serious. It's not bullshit. It's not lies. So no, I don't think this is entertainment. This is going into violating people's civil liberties, human rights, the law that's supposed to be designed to protect people. And people have been threatened, exploited, doxxed. And those people should be eliminated from social media. In fact, they shouldn't have any access to the internet other than to make appointments with doctors, grocery orders, and that's it. They should not have any contact with any other human being on the internet other than for their very basic needs, because they are a detriment to this community. No, this is not cancel culture. This is a matter of life and death. And I just wish fucking YouTube would do something about it. Would intervene, but they haven't. People have been murdered because of dangerous parasocial relationships, and YouTube does nothing to safeguard the children on here who are being exploited and followed by dirty old filthy fuckers and people like KJ, creating hostile, dangerous environments with her threats and attempted domination of the narrative and getting people to do her dirty work and harass other people and threaten other people and all of that nonsense. Mind you, everything I say here is based on my opinions. And they are my opinions. Opinions aren't facts. And it's something that you're going to have to look into yourself. But this is a serious problem. This is a matter of life and death. And I wish fucking YouTube would do something about it and look into it and get rid of these problematic people. That goes for the Colleen Ballingers of YouTube and the Sniper Wolves on YouTube and the Katie Joys of YouTube. They're fucking useless, waste of space on this platform that seek to hurt and undermine victims. It's disgusting. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll talk to you all later. Thank you.